Hello and welcome to MCPSS Athletics. My name is Calvin Chris, Athletic Director for Mobile County Public Schools. Studio today we have from Theodore High School, baseball coach Bo Smith and softball coach Michael Walters. And after this message, we'll be back with Coach Smith.
We are Bobcat Nation. We are the signature academy of Theodore High School. A place where dreams become reality. A place where tradition is valued. A place where extracurricular activities help students grow. Where student rigor is valued. Where diversity is valued. Where students become college and career ready. A place where all are accepted. A place of caring teachers. A place where lifelong relationships grow. We are Bobcat Nation.
Offensive line anchored by Brian Ankerson, the senior, a versatile offensive lineman. He's going to be playing center for Eric Collier this season, but can be moved into multiple positions. A lot of size from Ankerson.
Being a scholar athlete is difficult at times, especially during the football season when you have practice till late and you have to do homework. I mean, it can become very difficult, and it's hard to keep up with all your classes.
It starts at home. They got great parents. Both of their boys have achieved high things, and you know, the sky's the limit for Brian. He'll go out and do great things, and again, I enjoy coaching him. I enjoy being around him. They're just really good people. And when he comes to football, he concentrates on football. When he's in the classroom, he worries about the classroom. And that's not every kid does that. You know, some of them get hung up and they get their priorities mixed up. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's not necessarily the time management. He understands his priorities, and he understands how to rank those things and how to handle that business.
Brian is the best type of student. Brian is the student, he sat right up front, was always paying attention, taking his notes. He did any homework I ever asked him to do. Brian did it and always had good questions, good insights.
If I was a younger kid and there was one thing I could go back and tell myself, it'd be to not procrastinate. Procrastination is one of the hardest things to overcome. When you get behind, the hardest thing is to get back where you're supposed to be.
The biggest compliment someone can have is they want their child to be like that. So in other words, when I look at Brian, he's the kind of kid that, you know, if my child grew up and he was like a Brian Ankerson, I'd be really pleased. He's a great young man.
Welcome back. Our first guest, Coach Bo Smith. He's a baseball coach at Theodore High School. Coach, appreciate you coming by today.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Well, Coach, we've about a little over halfway through baseball. You want to talk a little bit about your season?
Yeah, we're just kicked off area weekend. The weather got us a little bit last week, but we actually play Davidson today in a doubleheader. But yeah, we started out and played probably the toughest schedule we've ever had here at Theodore. So, and we knew we had a lot of new guys coming in, and that was kind of our goal, was to play some tough competition. So when the area came, we knew that whoever we faced, we would be ready to go and wouldn't have any problems.
Now, Coach, you talk about the weather a little bit. If you get a lot of rain, it throws that pitching off, doesn't it?
Definitely. That's what the umpires, you know, I talked to them this weekend. They were saying, well, we may have to wait and do the games in the middle of this week. And I said, well, we can't do that. We have another area game the next weekend.
Right.
Our area's so big, and we have 5 teams in it, so we it's a big thing. And then you play your midweek game, so it's tough sometimes. When this week we'll have 7 games in 7 days, and it's tough, but that's kind of part of baseball, and so we kind of prepare, try to have 10 or 12 pitchers on our staff, and for stuff like this when it happens. So you just got to be prepared and ready to go. So.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about your area. Of course, like you said, it's a 5-team area, and a lot of them are 3. So talk a little bit about it, because it is a tough area.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's a tough. And well, that's what I try to tell our guys. Take one game at a time, and you're going to lose a game or so in the area, but you can't get too high or too low, and we try to focus one game at a time, go out there and grind, and hopefully if you win 2 out of 3 on the weekend series, every series, then you'll have a good chance at the end of being in the playoffs.
Coach, you've been at Theodore a good while. Talk a little bit about being at Theodore High School.
Yeah, this is my 12th year coaching varsity baseball there, and I did the JV for 3 years previous to that. And we've got a great administration, and Coach Collier's AD, and he does a great job. And in our community, they expect us to have a good program and to work the kids hard, and that's what I love about it. They expect us to be good, and I expect us to be good too. So I put pressure on myself, and that keeps me going to where I'm motivated to work hard every year and let us be successful on and off the field.
Coach, you set the bar so high every year. Everybody knows Theodore's going to have a good ball team. How do you relate that to your new kids coming in? A lot of times kids just take for granted that you're going to be good, when you know as well as I, it's hard work that makes you good. So how do you meet those expectations?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. That is really one of the hardest things, and that's why, I was talking the other day, I could have played a kind of a cake or easier schedule, and then sometimes the kids think you're better than what you are. But I mean, we've played Spanish Fort twice, Auburn twice. We've played some teams that are going to win state championships this year, and it kind of brings you to reality and lets you know. But it really starts in the summer. We start working with our middle school kids in the summer, and so the kids, that once they get to us, they kind of know our system and how we do stuff. So that's kind of how we get to where, when kids graduate, the next kid kind of knows they got to step up, and how we expect our program to be run, and so they know they have to get after it and work hard to step in there and go. So,
Coach, talk a little bit about some of the tournaments you're in. I know you was in the Bay Bear tournament, which is always a tough tournament, but talk about some of those teams. And you said you played Auburn, so.
Yeah. This, the Hank Aaron tournament it's a great tournament. We get to play everybody in Mobile and Baldwin County, and last year we won the Hank Aaron tournament. This year we made it to the finals, and Spanish Fort beat us in extra innings. So we play a lot of good teams in that, and that kind of prepares us. And then the last 5 years we've started going to Auburn High School and Opelika and playing in a tournament up there and playing. This year we played Smith Station, which they won the 7A state championship, so we got to play them again this year. Auburn's they're ranked in the nation, so that we've played them twice. Opelika's got a great team, and so we always play quality opponents. This year the rain kind of pushed us to where we had to play the championship game on a Wednesday, so we had to turn around a day later and go up there. So it was a little tough for us this year, but facing the quality pitching, that's what I told our guys before we played Davidson Thursday, that anybody we play this year in the area, we won't face any better pitching than the teams that we've already played. So they should be prepared. It's just executing and going out there and doing what they're supposed to do.
Coach, how do we rank with those Auburns and Opelika, this area? Are we ahead or behind? I know it can vary from year to year.
Yeah. Most years honestly, I think this year those teams are a little ahead of us, because we've played teams up here and teams down there. We have a lot of top-end talent down here this year, but overall, I was talking, like I said, the Auburn coach, and they have 9 kids that's already either committed or signed to go play college ball. Now, that's not typical for them, but they have a good team. Smith Station is same thing. They have 4 or 5 guys, so I think it just fluctuates. In this year's, they got a lot of guys that have signed, but most years we can compete with anybody down here. So just one of those years, they may be a little ahead of us. But who knows? You'll see. It's not how good you're playing now. It's at the end of the year, and who gets hot. So.
Peaking at the end. All right, Coach, we're going to have you back in the last segment. After this message, we'll be back with Coach Walters.
Murphy High School played a big part of me getting to the next level, getting to college. I took honors classes here just to, to have that extra boost. From the University of South Carolina, it helped me tremendously. I played football there for 3 years and decided to go pro after my junior year. I think just the stuff that helped me at the Murphy High School helped me carry on to the University of South Carolina. Now I'm playing my 7th season in the NFL.
The Environmental Studies Center is a natural sciences education facility designed to provide unique learning experiences. In addition, wildlife rehabilitation plays a vital role each day at the center. Featuring more than 500 acres of rich woodlands, the center affords teachers, students, and the general public an opportunity to experience firsthand the natural environment. Environmental Studies Center. It starts with us in the Mobile County Public Schools.
Mobile County Public Schools has equipped its students to achieve more than $96 million in college scholarships. These work-ready certificates include dual enrollment college credit, construction, certified nursing assistant, Microsoft Office specialist, welding, and the list goes on, striving to graduate students to be college and career ready. Higher learning, growth, and development. It starts with us.
Welcome back to our second session. We got Coach Walters, softball coach at Theodore High School. Coach, appreciate you taking the time to come by. Coach, talk a little bit about your season.
We're in the heat of the season here. We're in tournament season, so we have a tournament every weekend. We've battled injuries and youth, but we've battled hard. I think we're right there in the mix for the area.
All right, Coach, now y'all have the same area, 5 teams. You want to talk a little bit about your area, some of the teams you got? I know you got some tough teams. Defending state champion.
We got the defending 7A state champion. We actually played them last week, and we beat them in 14 innings.
Wow,
so it was up and down, but it used all my pitching for the rest of the week. But MGM's a great team. They got a great coach. Bryant's a great team. I think they have 6 girls, 7 girls signed. I mean, and then Davison coachship does a good job over there too. So we just play them 5-2 and 7. So I mean, it's a hard area to win in.
Coach, talk a little about some of the tournaments you've been in. You're saying you're playing about every weekend.
We started out at a MGM tournament. We did pretty good there. But the one I would like to talk about is a Birmingham tournament. We actually faced 2 D1 pitchers, and we hit a couple of home runs off of them. And
wow.
We did okay. And it's just a different world up there. Especially in Birmingham. We played at Spainport, we played at Hoover, and some of those girls had never been in that area before.
Coach, how do we? And I'll ask you the same question I asked Coach Smith. How do we match up against those teams?
As of just like Coach said, they have a lot of girls that have signed. I got to watch the girl from Curry that Curry's nationally ranked. So their girl has a .22 ERA for a career. I mean, and they're they just have more girls signed than us right now. But most years we compete. We still competed up there this year.
Are their facilities are kind of ahead hours, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a little bit ahead. You're talking about Hoover and places like
right.
that. It's new money, old money. It doesn't matter. They just have money.
Money, yeah, that's true. Coach, you're a relatively new coach. You want to talk a little bit about your career up to this point? I think this is your first. Theodore was your first stop, teaching-wise.
Teaching-wise, well, actually, I started at Dunbar Magnet School.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I ended up, but I've been at Theodore this is my 10th year at Theodore. Mm-hmm. I worked for Coach Smith for 8 or 9 years as a varsity assistant, JV assistant. And, the transition, he's made a lot of things easier, because I knew him and, we worked together well. But, other than that, it's less about coaching and more about, keeping it all together. If there's a problem, I got to handle it. If there's a parent problem, I got to handle it. It's a lot more time consuming than being an assistant coach.
I hear this quite a bit. A lot of them get head coaches and they revert back and said, you know, they miss those days where you just get your group, go work with them, don't have to deal with the parents or money at the gate to take up tickets. So it's a lot to be said, and the responsibilities are a lot greater. Coach, who do you think is going to be the team to beat down here? Of course, you know, we know Baker is always good, but you beat them. Is it kind of a toss-up this year? Or
I really think it's a lot of parity. I mean, I think at any point any of us could beat each other. I mean, we've played MGM a couple of times. You know, the games are close going into the 6th and 7th inning. And we played Baker close. We played Davidson was close. You know, Bryant was, you know, we haven't played them yet, but I'm sure it will be close. I mean, it's a year of parity. I think, you know, nobody really has a dominant pitcher, and I think that's the biggest difference, is that there's no one dominant pitcher. Last year Baker had, you know, their girl that signed with Georgia, she was dominant. And then, you know, you know, it was really tough to beat them.
Coach, now Theodore's got a pitcher out at South, don't he? He's pitching out at South.
Yes, sir. She was before my time, but I have talked to her, and you know, I talk to her from time to time, try to get some insight from her. You know, and I haven't kept up with, you know, as I should,
Right.
but you know, I know at one point she led the Sun Belt in strikeouts. And so.
Always good to see our local kids not only do well but stay at home. Coach, what do you what are some of your who are some of your top players this year?
Well, you know, one of my
You
players.
say you had a young team.
I'm very, very young. I think we have 3 driver's licenses altogether. So, no, I had one of my all-state players. I had Bailey Bolts from last year. She had surgery, so I'm just now getting her back.
Okay.
But I have Madison Perryman. She's my second baseman. She's hitting 500 right now. She's had a great year. I couldn't have asked for anything more. My shortstop, Tyler Abity. I mean, she's already stole 10, 12, 13 bases. And, you know, she's over 300. You know, I think she set the record for triples, set the Theodore record for triples with like 10 this year, like the career. And then my pitchers are really young. I've got you know, a third baseman that's a junior. She's really good, Brittany Davison. She's hit a home run. She's hit a couple of home runs, you know, done some good stuff for us. She's also been on the mound for us. It's been, you know, a lot of people have been on the mound for us.
Well, I guess it's probably a good thing. I've heard Coach Scarborough say before, you know, you never can have too many kids throwing, especially when you get into tournaments and all. So that's good. Now, will you have any kids to sign this year? You say you don't have many older kids.
Tyler Abity's going to sign with Faulkner State, and Bailey Bolts will sign with West Florida.
Okay, well that's good. Now, West Florida, is that a relatively new program over there? I haven't heard. I think it's pretty new. So, but that's good that we got kids that are signing everywhere, and of course Theodore always has some good kids to sign. So that's great. Coach, talk a little bit about softball strategy. I know flipping through the channels yesterday, I watched I think it was Alabama playing this slap hitting and things of this nature. Do the high school girls, do they get involved in that also?
Absolutely. You know, I haven't had one. I don't think I have a lefty swinger in my program, but everybody we play has one or two. I know, and I mean I personally, coming from baseball, you know, have a hard time understanding it. I've tried to study it and stuff, but I mean it's tough. I mean, and it's tough to get them out. You know, I think Sarah Lynn probably has the best one that I've seen. She can fly, so she just puts it down and runs. You know, but that's softball in a nutshell. It's a small ball game. You can't play base to base. You got to steal. You got to hit and run. And that's one thing personally I've enjoyed. You know, you know, baseball had become station to station to me, and this is, you know, either you move them or they don't move. You know, especially with the pitching and stuff that we have in the area and other things like that.
It's just amazing. It looks like they're halfway down there once they hit it, but that's great. Okay, Coach, if you'll stay there, we're going to bring Coach Smith back right after this message.
The Mobile County Public Schools Signature Academies program offers a variety of specialized curriculum for highly interested and motivated students. These academies provide students with choices ranging from aviation to healthcare, advanced information technology to international studies, from engineering to coastal studies. These high-quality, hands-on programs prepare students for careers readily available in Mobile County. Signature Academies program. It starts with us.
Hi, I'm Martha Peak, Superintendent of Mobile County Public Schools.
And I'm Kay Ivey, your Lieutenant Governor.
We want to remind you to use caution while operating motor vehicles in school zones.
And remember to observe all traffic laws relating to school bus safety and stop ahead when you see red.
Protecting and keeping our children safe, it starts with us.
Hi, I'm Pat Mitchell, Transportation Director for the Mobile County Public School System. Remember, stop ahead when you see red.
Smartboard, that's right.
Welcome back. We brought Coach Smith back. We got Coach Walters here. We got Theodore High School represented. Coach Smith, let's talk a little bit about some of your play. You got any that's going to sign?
Yeah, Josh Lewis, he's a senior left-handed pitcher and plays first base for us. He's signed or committed to go to Gulf Coast Community College in Mississippi, and that's all we have. We only have 3 seniors that start,
right.
And so he and then I have my center fielder, who he has a chance. You know, Faulkner State's looking at him, and maybe Bishop State's going to look at him a little bit. So he's got a chance. So those are my 2 guys that'll probably have a chance to go.
And Coach, as long as you've been in it, you've had kids all over the Southeast sign. So Theodore's always had good kids, and kids have gone on to represent our county. Coach Walters, talk a little bit about travel ball for a second. Does that help you or does that hurt you? And I've heard both sides from coaches.
I mean, for me, it's just they get to play. You know, it's they get to play.
Okay. Do most of your kids play?
Yes, most of them do. With it, I think I got 1 or 2 that don't, but most of them do.
Okay. What about off season? What you do in the off season for softball?
We lift in June and July, and generally we play 4 little games or whatever, and then
right.
there's one tournament, a bigger tournament in Daphne that everybody goes and plays in just to see what we have. And I love it. I like coaching in the summer because I pull all my youngsters up
right.
and see whatever I have going on.
Same question for you, Coach Smith, about what you do in the off season.
Yeah, we like I said earlier, we get our middle school kids over and we start implementing you know, our system and what we want to do for the next year, and kind of see who we have, and actually try to move some guys around and play different positions in case people get hurt. And really, I love it, like Coach said, because that's when you can really just focus on. It's not as much about winning; it's only trying to develop your players and try to work on their mechanics, and so that's kind of what we use it more, is trying to get the kids better, and then we lift the whole summer and try to get bigger and stronger and just build for the next year.
Are most of them playing in the summer?
Our guys, we have a few, but not as much. You know, I'd try to get them not to play as much.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd rather them lift to get stronger, and we work with their mechanics and stuff, because, you know, I think kids play too much.
Right.
I think there's too much travel ball, and it kind of burns a kid out, and it wears them down. I won't let our guys throw a whole lot, because it seems like they throw year round, and I think that's one of the reasons why there's so many arm injuries and problems like that. So if they want to play, I don't discourage it, but I definitely don't. If they don't want to play, it's fine, because I think they'd get better playing with us and us kind of working with them than just going out and playing travel ball.
I agree with Coach. I think we have become a society where you play one sport and it's year round, and I really think it affects the kids.
Yes, I think it's too much. You know, I wish they wouldn't play it as much, and a lot of times a lot of these are doing it to make money. You know, the kids, it costs a lot of money, and some of these travel teams are for the coach, the travel coach, and the travel teams to make money, and it's not always for the right reason, in my opinion.
I agree. Well, Coach, and I'll ask this question to both of y'all. You know, there's a proposal to change the summer where y'all have a month you can do as much as you want. would you be in favor of that, or do y'all just like the 4 days?
I'd like to do as much as you want. You know, I mean, to me, if you're going to give us, let's say, the month of June, you know, you might as well give us the month of June and let us play, and
Right.
and you know, and let us kind of play the games that we want to play, and because it's tough scheduling games when everybody only gets four games, you know, and everybody's fighting to get those 4 games, you know, and I don't think it would be much of a difference. You know, some teams would probably play 6 or 8 or maybe 10
Right.
games, but to me, it just makes it easier scheduling wise, and you'd be able to get more guys some work. So I think they just give us the month of June and give us a start end date, and then it would turn out, you know, easier for the coaches on that end of it.
I think one of the reasons for it is it gives you a chance to coach your own kids,
Yeah.
and not somebody else
Oh,
out
yeah,
there,
definitely.
you know,
Yeah.
just contributing or trying to change what you got. Coach Walters, talk a little about your staff that you have helping you.
I have Coach Roberts and Coach Fuller. I mean, they both of them are new. I had to restaff after last year. I had my only staff member leave, so I had to start over. You know, Coach Fuller does my pitching. She does a good job, and Coach Roberts does my JV. He does a pretty good job with them, and you know, they've been great. You know, they've taken a load off me from
Right.
last year because I only had one. And yeah, so I've actually got to back up and only coach one team this year, you know. So it's been nice to have that.
That's good. Coach Smith, same question. Your staff.
Yeah, man, I got probably the best staff I've had. DJ Turos, he came over this year and he played.
Former player, right?
Correct, played for me and went and played for Coach Locker at Faulkner State, and then played at West Alabama. So he's with us, and Travis Williamson, he's been with me for 5 or 6 years now. So that both those guys kind of know how we like to do stuff, and so they're great. And my JV coach he does a good job. And our middle school coach, Coach Smith over there, he works our kids hard. So we got a good staff, you know, all the way up from our middle school to the high school. So Mr. Rao kind of helped us and hired some guys this year, and she just made a big difference for us.
That's good. Coach Walters, talk a little about your week. Who you going to play this week?
Well, we played Bryant Tuesday in the area game.
And that's a big one.
That's a big one for us. You know, we're 2-1 in the area right now, and it's just going to be down to who wants to play more that day. And then we have McGill on Thursday, and then we go to Robertsdale and play in a tournament, play Fairhope and Gulf Shores.
Okay. Coach Smith, your week?
Yeah, we beat Davidson Thursday night to start 1-0 in the area, and we play them today in a big doubleheader, you know, to kind of get the area going a little bit more. And then we play LaFleur Tuesday in a doubleheader, and then big series against Alma Bryant, our rivals. So we play them Friday night, and they come over to Theodore doubleheader Saturday. So a lot of big games this week to kind of see where we go, see how we start off the season.
That's great. Well, listen, I appreciate y'all coming by. Continued success, and Theodore's always been right there for championships in baseball and softball, and we appreciate what y'all do for your school and your community.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we will see you next week.